All right, good morning. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and this is our daily or weekly, actually, ecom planning session. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am passionate about helping people get organized, get focused, get consistent in their business to help them to achieve their goals when it comes to their e commerce journey. If getting organized is that, if helping them to get productive is that, it's helping them to make money, make more money than they're currently making in their business. That's my goal. That's my mission. And I love doing it. So, this is our weekly econ planning session where we talk about how to plan for next week. And since we're in the middle of Q2, we're at the end of Q2. We need to finish Q2 strong. We've got just under 2 weeks left to finish Q2 strong. And so we're going to be talking about Q2 today. So if you need some help on your e-commerce journey, getting organized, getting focused, getting consistent, um, making money, and figuring out how much money how much of that is profit and how much of that is not profit, whether or not you're running in the red or running in the black. If you want to put together your game plan for Q4, if you want to strategize for your whatever that happens to be, whatever you're using e-commerce for, whether it's to fire your boss, whether it is to, save for a house, save for a car, save for college, or just to be able to have more time freedom, more time to spend time with your family, with your friends, whatever that happens to be. I am there for you. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. You can go to ecomsellers.com to schedule your free 20-minute coaching session. And in that session, we will go through everything that we need to help you to get organized, get focused, get consistent in your e-commerce business. If you haven't already done so, I invite you to grab the My Ecom Planner. It was created for sellers by sellers, and you can get the digital version of the planner for 40% off. I was going to say 20% off. 40% off. You can go to myecomplanner.com. Again, myecomplanner.com to grab the digital version of the e-commerce planner right now. And then in addition to that, if you are looking to get some support on your e-commerce journey, whether it is figuring out what you're going to do day to day in your business, figuring out what to sell, figuring out how to get started, figuring out how to scale your business, then you can join Ecom Sellers Academy. It is $17.99 a month, so it's terribly affordable. If you grab the monthly version, then you'll get a free the lifetime version, kind of lifetime membership. You'll get a free ecom planner if you go and buy the lifetime membership. But in any case, you get weekly live retail arbitrage and online arbitrage leads. You'll get a wholesale list every week. You'll also be able to participate in our live weekly training sessions. So you can join Ecom Sellers Academy, of course, at ecomsellersacademy.com. Sign up right now. And if you're interested, you can also grab the leads. If you just need some support to figure out what to sell every single week, you can grab our retail arbitrage leads by going to ecomsellersacademy.com/RAOA leads list, and it's roughly $50 a month. All right, $50 a month, or $12.50 a week for 50 leads. So you get 200 leads a month at $50 a month. Or if you want to break that down, you get 50 leads a week for $12.50. And you can literally take that lead list and go out and go make money right now. So with that being said, we're going to get started in the weekly planning session. We normally do this at around 7, but this whole week has been a little off for me because my sons we've been doing everything from track practice early in the morning to getting my other son over to ESY. So my schedule is a little off this week. Hopefully we'll get it back on track next week. But we normally host these weekly planning sessions at around 7:15 in the morning, Monday through Saturday. So the daily planning sessions are Monday through Friday, and the weekly planning session is around 7:15 on Saturday mornings. And if this information is helpful to you, invite a friend, share it out, let other people know about this session, because we would love to have more people participate. Let us know what you want us to cover. If there's a specific topic that you want us to cover when it comes to the weekly planning session, and we're going to go through the process of making sure that we cover the things that are going to help you to make progress in your e-commerce business. So with that being said, you can download the weekly planning checklist directly from the e-commerce planning Facebook group. You can also download the daily and the monthly planning checklist from the e-commerce planning Facebook group, you just go to the files section, and then you can go and download those 3 documents from there. So I am live on Clubhouse. I'm also live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing is I want you to grab the document. If you haven't, I'm going to walk through it. And the weekly planning checklist is designed to help you take incremental actions, take incremental steps every single week to help you reshape your business. It is all the little things. If you think about weight loss, it is not that you go out and exercise one day and then all of a sudden you've lost 100 pounds. It is all of the little steps and the little actions you take every single day that actually ultimately gets you to that goal of weight loss. So these are all the steps you have to take every single day. If you're looking to save some money to pay down on put a down payment on a house, if you're lucky enough to be able to have that money readily available, you go and maybe work a part-time job or get a bonus or whatever it happens to be, and you've got that lump sum of money. That's great. But most people have to save every single week or every single month to get to that goal number. So ultimately it is their actions that they take every day, what they don't spend money on or what they do spend money on, where they do invest money or where they don't invest money, that gets them to their end goal of whatever that goal number is, 10,000, 20,000, whatever it happens to be. So that is the approach that we're taking when it comes to your e-commerce business. Sometimes in order to be a successful seller, some people have a knack for it and they can make all the right decisions all the time, or at least it feels like it, or it looks like it from the outside, because some people are really good at displaying that, or it's not an accident and people actually are intentional about what they do and the actions they take in their business and the things they source and the things they don't source and the things they buy and the things they don't buy. So the weekly planning checklist is designed for you to actually be successful, be a successful seller and get to your goal, whatever that goal happens to be. In this session, we're going to be covering creating your weekly template. We're also going to be talking about your weekly template is going to be your guide to building your schedule. And so we build the weekly template first before we build the weekly schedule. That is the first thing that we do. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to encourage you to grab a notebook and a pen. And the great thing about this weekly planning checklist and also the daily and the monthly is that this is universal. It doesn't matter if you're doing drop shipping, print on demand, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, private label, white label. That doesn't matter. The basic elements, the basic steps of all sellers is the same. All sellers source products. All sellers do some level of product research, whether it's thin or it's a lot. When I say thin, like they barely do any product research. All sellers source products from somewhere. All sellers create listings. All sellers have to get their products to their customers somehow. So there's a shipping element to their business. And all sellers perform some level of customer service. There are other things that all sellers do or should be doing. Like there's some administrative tasks in their business that they should be doing, but not all sellers are doing that. Or not as frequently as they should. And there's some other things like not all sellers are doing what we consider marketing. Some sellers are and some sellers are not. So again, the action steps that are taken, the majority of them are universal. And we're all creating listings at the end of the day. And somehow our product is somehow getting to the customer who bought it at the end of the day. So that makes us an online e-commerce seller. And these steps are universal. So let's pull up a chair and let's get started. The first thing we're going to do as we go through this daily checklist is, I said, get a notebook and pen. And we're going to think about all the stuff that you do. So we're going to break this off into the first 2 action steps. One of them is just to do a brain dump. So in the brain dump, we're going to grab a notebook, paper, a pen, or you can grab a Google Sheet. If you have a Google account, a Gmail account, you can go to your Gmail account, and next to your initial in Gmail, in the upper right-hand corner is 9 dots. I call it the Rubik's Cube, and it's not a Rubik's Cube, but that's what I call it. And there's 9 dots. If you click on the 9 dots, you can choose Google Drive. Once you click on Google Drive, then on the left-hand side in the upper right-hand corner, there will be a plus inside of Google Drive. Google Drive looks like a triangle that's multicolored. And so on the left side, you choose that. Choose Google Drive, and there'll be a plus sign next to it. And on the plus side, you will click on that, and there will be a one of the options will be a Google Doc. It'll be blue. So choose the Google Doc, and once you choose the Google Doc, you're going to have a blank sheet of paper. You can start with that. Or you can choose the Google Sheet, which is going to be much better. And if you choose the Google Sheet, you can use the Google Sheet, which is green. You can choose Sheet 1 is the default, and that's at the bottom of the page in the lower left-hand side. You'll see Sheet 1. And if you click on the plus that's next to the word Sheet 1, at the bottom it'll create Sheet 2. Sheet as in a sheet of paper. And so Sheet 1, we're going to use that to do the brain dump. And so you can left click on the word Sheet 1 and rename it to brain dump. And then you can left click on Sheet 2 and rename that to weekly template. That way you'll have that. You can also use the My eCom Planner. Inside the My eCom Planner, there is a section for the weekly planning session, and you can use that as a guide as well. So we're going to do a brain dump, and we're going to dump out everything that we need to know about what we're already doing, because we need to identify what we're doing in order to figure out how we're going to make sure that we're making the time for all to take all the right actions in our business to make progress. And again, our goal is to finish Q2 strong, to plan for Q3 as we go along this journey. Don't forget to put on your calendar the monthly planning eCom session. It is the last Sunday of the month. So Sunday, the 26th, is when we're actually going to have that monthly ecom planning session. We're going to actually plan for quarter 3, and we're also going to plan for the month of July. So with that, what are the things that we're putting on this spreadsheet, this Google spreadsheet, or in our notebook, or in the ecom planner? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to note all the things we already do. What are the things that we already do in our life every single week, no matter what? Because we're building a schedule that's inclusive. One of the biggest challenges that I run into all the time when I'm working with people is that they haven't figured out how to balance their business and maybe their work life and their family life, like all of that. And it feels overwhelming, and they don't have enough time in the day to do it all. And so one of the things that I try to get you to do is I try to get you to think about, okay, what are the things you're already doing? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to write down all those things first. So your first column A, is going to be a dump of all the things you already do. So you're just going to go down that column. You can label the column already do, or already, or currently, or whatever you want to call it, and just start writing all the things, just dumping that out. And then make sure that you're using column B and column C next to that. And we're going to leave those blank because we're going to start writing in column D. At the top, the header of column D is going to be the things that we need to or must do in our business or in our life. Probably got some need to do stuff, must do, that you're just completely avoiding and ignoring. So that is going in column D. And then next to column D, we're going to leave that blank, column E and column F. We're going to go straight to column G. Column G, at the top of that column, we're going to put down all the things we're going to label that column the things we need, want, or should do. Okay? So you have a column of all the things you currently do, already do. Then you have a column that's specifically focused on the things you really need to be doing in your business, maybe you're not, or in your life. And the last column is the things that you want or should be doing. So the things that we already do in our business, as I talk about, trying to balance out your life, God blesses us with 24 hours in the day. We probably sleep anywhere from 18 to 16 of those hours, and we're awake. Sorry, we sleep, not 18 to 16, we're awake 18 to 16 of those hours. And so because of the fact that we're awake 18 to 16 of those hours, what are we doing with that time? If you're looking to grow your business, if you're looking to scale your business, then you have to make sure that you're taking advantage of using your time wisely. And if you feel like, the time that you've given, because time is precious, it is truly a gift. And it's very finite. You don't get it back. There's no way. You can always make more money. You can always get more stuff or replace stuff, but you cannot replace time. You don't get time back. You can't go back and, I'd like to get that back or return it. You can't. So every moment that you spend doing whatever it is that you're doing is extremely important. And if you're looking to scale your business to get to $1 million seller status or whatever it happens to be, you have to be intentional about what you do with your time. Very, very intentional. And so this is your opportunity. If you've been wasting time, if you've been procrastinating, if you feel like, oh, okay, I've just been messing around for a while, this is your opportunity to get with the program. To I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Major Payne. It is really old. It is with Damon Wayans, but it is funny. And he is a drill sergeant. So in your own personal life and in your business, you got to start being a drill sergeant with the time you got left, because time is very finite. Let's make intentional decisions about what we're going to spend our time doing, what we're going to focus on, what we're going to expend our energy on. And so you have to be committed to that. So, with that being said, you need to pay attention to what you're doing with your time. And if you're wasting it, this is a great exercise for you. If you feel like you're pretty good with your time, this is also still a good exercise for you. And it'll be an opportunity for you to pay attention to what you are or potentially not doing in your business. So, and also in your life. So, under the already do, I want you to write down everything you're doing in a week. I want you to write down if you are going to church, if you work out every single day, like work out. And then next to that, that next column where I said you need two blanks. So that's column B and C. Um, I want you to write down when you do it, and if it's if there's a specific time. So if you're going out to work out every single morning, you can put daily. So if you want to put a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, put the beginning letters in column B, you can do that. And if the time that you go to work out every single day is at 7 o'clock in the morning, that's fine. That means that time is used, it's reserved, and I'm not going to let anything bleed into that time, or I'm not going to um, use that time for anything else. Okay. Especially if it's an activity that is serving you well. Now, if you are online playing video games, binge watching Netflix, or whatever it happens to be, the next Hulu series, that's different. And if you feel like that's productive time, then I'm probably going to argue with you about that a little bit. But because, again, how does that time that you invest or that you're potentially wasting, how is that time making you money? So I want you to think about everything that you're doing in your life and whether or not you feel like it is making you money or it is serving you well. Going to go work out is not making you money, but it probably is serving you well. It is helping you to stay healthy. It is helping you to stay in shape. It is helping you to improve your fitness. There are many different benefits to going to go work out. So it is serving you well. If you're going to Bible study, going to church, again, going to church every day, that's more than likely serving you well. So think about all the things that you're doing in your life that you feel like, okay, this is my routine. This is part of the things I do on a regular basis. And these things are serving me well. Those are the things you're going to put under the things that you already do. If there's some stuff that you're wasting time on, we're not writing that down under already do, because those are probably things that need to be changed. So as you think about the things that are serving you well, is the time slot in which you're doing that activity, in other words, can it change, or is it specific and reserved? Working out in the morning is probably reserved and it cannot be moved around depending on how busy your life is. Going to church on Sunday morning or going to Bible study on Wednesday, like, you don't control that schedule. That's set by the church. And so therefore you can't move that around, but it is time that is serving you well. Taking the kids to soccer practice or to summer camp, or going to your book reading group or whatever it happens to be. All of those things are things that maybe bring you joy, serve you well, help you to stay calm, help you to stay grounded. Maybe you have a monthly touch base or weekly get together on Sundays with your family. So everybody comes together for Sunday dinner. Like, we're not touching those things. So anything that is serving you well that you already do, and it really is beneficial to your life, or it is helping you make money, put down all the things you already do. And that includes if you're already listing. If you're listing every single day, write it down. That's time that is serving you well. If you're not listing every single day and you feel like that's something you need to do or you want to do, then we're going to go into those other columns. So things you need to do. Now we're over in column D. The things that you need to be doing, there should be some activities that you're doing around sourcing, product research, or research, not just product research, because research can include product research, listing research, keyword research, because you got to create listings. Listing activities. shipping, administrative activities, customer service. All of those things are things that you need to be doing. You need to be doing. Now, maybe you're already doing them, but maybe you do them randomly. And so, since you're already doing them, you could put them under things you want to start doing. I want to go from listing once a week to 5 days a week. So put that under your want column, which is column G. I want to start doing product research. I don't really do product research right now. I want to start doing some more keyword research. I don't really do keyword research right now. I want to start getting um, more, I guess, taking intentional action towards my administrative activities that I should be doing in my business, but I'm not really doing it right now. So everything that you should or want to be doing, maybe you're not doing right now, put those under the should and want. Also include your personal stuff. Because if you're trying to or you're working to make time for things that you feel like are important and that will serve you well. Maybe you're not walking every day. Maybe you're not drinking enough water. Maybe you're not going to the gym. Maybe you're not taking your allergy pills every single day. Like there's probably a list of things that you're not doing that you feel like you should be doing. And then if you did them, it would serve your life and business well. Doing your nightly planning session for tomorrow, like planning the day before for tomorrow is actually a good thing that can actually serve your life and your business well. And if you're not doing it, you can put it under the want and need to do. Okay. So I want you to go through that process and I want you to think about all the things in your personal life. Things I separate them out into spiritual, personal, financial, health and fitness, family and household. Like if you go to the grocery store, we normally go to the grocery store Friday nights, and I also do some retail arbitraging on Fridays. So those are the two things that I already do in my business. And on Saturdays, on Saturday, I spend time with my boys. We do many different things. I also teach on Saturdays, but there's many different things that are happening on Saturdays for us and with us. So I go through that list of things that we are already doing. On Sundays, I normally work in my business and I do a lot of planning for the week ahead, a lot of planning related activities. So if you're not a person that's doing any level of planning for your business and for your future success, maybe you put it under your need to start doing, depending on how important you feel it is. That you feel like it's really going to change your business if you did this activity, or things that you sort of do already, but you want to do more of or do it better. So you should or want to start doing. Okay. So the activities again are sourcing related activities. This is any level of sourcing for the next 2 to 20 weeks. I can expand that to 2 to 36 weeks. But think about, what are you sourcing? When we talk about 2 to 20 weeks or 2 to 36 weeks is what I do. Um, People don't create Father's Day listings on Father's Day. They create those listings anywhere from, or they source for those products. Okay. They source for those products anywhere from 3 months in advance, 2 months in advance, a month in advance. They don't do it the day of because there's not enough time to get that shipment to the family, to whoever the person who bought it, so that they can receive it on Father's Day. That's just not enough time. So it's not realistic to do things just in time or today. Okay. That's why we do things in advance. We can create those lists. We can source those products in advance. We can begin the process of figuring out what we're going to sell in advance. So sourcing. Sometimes you do need to plan ahead because if your inventory is coming from across the ocean, it's not going to be here tomorrow. That's why you think about the next 2 to 20 weeks or 2 to 36 weeks from a sourcing standpoint. What am I sourcing? When does it have to be here in time for me to be able to sell it to my customers? If I need to source it 5 months in advance so that it takes a month to 2 months to get across the ocean, and then it's here for the listing to be live 3 months before the event, that is the kind of thinking you need to be doing, especially if you're sourcing across the ocean. Is it always going to take a month to 2 months? No. But again, it depends on your supplier and what their shipping times are. So that it's just, and then, what's happening with, getting products checked in at the Oh Lord, I can think of it. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So at customs. So the process of going through that is going to take a little bit of time. There are some things about that process that you have zero control over. So you have to embrace that fact. So planning ahead is actually going to help you to be a more successful seller. Okay. So think about your sourcing for the next month, next Q4, Q3. Think about your sourcing for Q4. These are sourcing related activities. If you're not doing that already, you need to put that on the list under, maybe you're doing it, but you're not doing it as well as you could. Put it under want or um, should be doing. Okay. These are things I want to do better. Upcoming holiday seasons, events. So we're going into officially the summer, even though the summer feels like it's already here. The summer is officially next week. It is also the start of hurricane season. Some people are not thinking about that. And there's a bunch of course, summer blockbusters. They've already kicked off a couple of them. And they're going to continue to do that. And some of those blockbusters are going to have help you with sales. There's going to be some momentum around sales that will probably continue through the end of the year. And then you've got events that may be coming up and holidays that may be coming up. So sourcing for those things that are coming up. If you're not an advanced sourcer, this is probably something you need to be thinking about. Your replenishables, your consumables, wholesale drop shipping opportunities. What are those opportunities that are coming up? If you don't do any level of planning around sourcing, these are things that you probably should be thinking about. Private label, white label opportunities. If you already have a private label product, is there an opportunity for you to potentially start thinking about bundles? So again, just doing a brain dump. You can write down in your notebook all the things that you feel like you want or should be doing, or things that you need to be doing in your business when it comes to sourcing. Then research. You've got product research, listing research, keyword research. Are you doing those things, or do you feel like you can do them better? Figure out which column they should go under. The columns you should be filling in are either column A, column D as in dog, or column G as in girl. Okay. Then your listing activities. We got to create listings. That's how we make money. If you don't list it, you can't make any money. So, title, description, images, price, cross listing, creating videos. Are you doing any of those things? Maybe you're creating listings on a regular basis and you're creating maybe 2 listings a day and you'd like to up it to 5. That's fine. Put it under the things you want to start doing. Or you want to up it to 10. And this is a great time to start gradually increasing the number of listings that you're putting up because of the fact that you're going into Q3. Maybe you're not doing as much of a good job that you'd like to on creating product photos. And so you want to start, getting better at, creating your own product photos or cross-listing, getting better at pricing or figuring out if you're going to use a repricer. Maybe you're not cross-listing as much and you want to get better at that or be more consistent. Those are all things that can help you. So make sure you figure out which column those are going to go under. Shipping. Maybe you're currently shipping on your own and you'd like to outsource it to a fulfillment center. This is a great time to create your account to get started before you get into Q4. Let me just say this. Outsourcing to a prep center or a fulfillment center in Q4 is not wise. You need to do it in advance so that you can begin the process of understanding how that prep center operates, what their requirements are, how fast they process their things, and whether or not they are a good prep center for you or a fulfillment center for you. Doing it in Q4 when they're in the throes of taking on all of this inventory, you're going to get the results that you're not expecting. Even though they're going to do everything that they can to minimize the impact of Q4 affects all fulfillment and prep centers. So as far as you're concerned, you're going to say that they're a horrible fulfillment or prep center. In reality, they may not be. They may actually be a great fulfillment and prep center, but the volume has gone up exponentially. They're training new people. So you got to think through that. So this is the window in which to do that. Okay? Not in Q4. So establishing your account with the fulfillment and put that under your want to do. Maybe that's a priority for next week. Maybe you start doing that research next week because of this conversation right now. Confirming your shipments or auditing your shipments that go out if you're using fulfillment or prep center integrations, drop shipping. Checking those. Maybe you're not checking them. You're just assuming that they're going out automatically because you've been using the same supplier for, I don't know, a year, and you're like, there's never been any problems. And then one day you start getting it, like one day you wake up and you have 5 return or refund requests, and you're trying to figure out what happened. Huh? Well, could it be that you should have been checking and auditing shipments every single day to ensure that you're not going to have to give the money back? Probably. So maybe you put that under your want to be doing, should be doing, and you're not doing it right now. Maybe you're just randomly checking it every 2 weeks. So be more intentional. This is a business. If it's a hobby, then it's a hobby. But if it's a business, run it like a business. I can guarantee you that a McDonald's store manager or a regional manager, when they place an order for fries or buns or hamburger meat, they know when that shipment is coming in. It is not a surprise to them that buns show up on Tuesday. Oh, I was not expecting that. That's not a surprise to them. They're paying attention to where it is in the supply chain so that they know when they're coming in. They're strategic about when they place that order because they potentially know that, hey, the weekends we get a lot more sales than we do Monday and Friday, or we get a lot of sales after work Monday through Friday, and then we have some peak sales Saturday and Sunday. Sorry, that was coming. So in any case, they are intentional. They're paying attention to what's happening. Are you paying attention to what's happening? And this is a store manager who who works for somebody. Oh, I have the sneezies. That's very funny. But in any case, are you paying attention to what's happening? Do you know where your product is in this process? Do you know when your customers have gotten the products? You have a VA that's checking that for you. So some things to think about how you're running your business. And if you're running your business and you're making money, that's fantastic. But could you be doing some things better? We could all do some things better. All of us. So administrative activities. Running your platform reports, filing your taxes, doing bank reconciliation, doing account reconciliation, balancing your budget, creating a budget, tracking your expenses and your receipts, like scanning those in, putting those into your system, ordering inventory when you're low on inventory. Are you good about that? Or are you one of those people who go, oh, you wake up tomorrow and you're surprised that you're completely out of inventory and you weren't thinking ahead, and so therefore you're now playing catch up? Because once you order it, it's going to take a week to 2 weeks or maybe a month before that inventory actually arrives. So everything is reactionary for you. Are you a business owner that is running your business in reactionary mode because you're not paying attention to what's happening to it daily? You're going to figure out which column that should go under. Auditing your inventory, checking expiration dates, maybe creating standard operating procedures for your VAs that you plan on having in the future. Because if there's actions that you're doing in your business right now, you should be writing those actions down, beginning the process that it takes to build what's called a standard operating procedure or SOP, so you can outsource that activity to somebody else. Reviewing your prices, or maybe using a repricer, adjusting your prices yourself, analyzing your data, reviewing your stats. There's so many other things that you should be doing or could be doing, but the reality is, how many yeses do you have on any of those things that I just rattled off? If you randomly do those things or you don't do any of them at all, then I feel like you probably should be doing them or you need to be doing them. So you're going to put them under those 2 columns. Customer service, handling questions, returns, refunds, reviews. So do you get questions and then you reply to them 2 days later, 3 days later? Do you have returns, refunds, reviews? Now I have the hiccups. This is crazy. So do you, what are you doing when it comes to that? Think about that. Evaluate yourself. The next one is education related activities. This one I feel like is a huge one that people overlook. I kept saying earlier, these things that you feel like you need to be doing better, you want to get better at. This is your opportunity to get better at these things. So when it comes to like maybe getting better at product research, maybe getting better at keyword research, maybe getting better at finding more sourcing suppliers, maybe getting better at running your reports. Things that you have the opportunity that you could be doing better. Okay. So, what are the things that you feel like you need to do better, you need to understand better, or the things that you want to learn or develop? Maybe this is your window in which you want to start learning print on demand, or you want to start learning drop shipping. You've been doing retail and online arbitrage, and you'd like to prepare yourself for success in doing drop shipping. So then that way, as you go into Q4, if you spend Q3 learning how to do drop shipping, or you spend Q3 learning how to do print on demand, it is something that you can add to your list of things when it comes to selling products in Q4. I've got my drop shipping business and I've got my print on demand business. Or I've got my retail arbitrage business and my print on demand business. So this is your window to learn those things. Okay. Marketing, I feel like, is sometimes overlooked because when people say marketing, the first thing that most people think about is spending money. But there's a lot of things that you could be doing that have nothing to do with spending money or before you get to that place of spending money. So there's a thing called getting organic traffic. Well, getting organic traffic requires you to get better at creating images, maybe naming your images, getting better at creating your titles, creating your listing. And so this could be under your education stuff that you want to get better at so you can start getting more organic traffic. Finding your avatar, your customer that is your ideal customer that's going to buy the product that you have listed. Um, then you've got other things that you can be doing, running your listings through Pingler and Ping Farm. Those are tools that will create backlinks for you. And so they're free tools that you can run your listings through. Maybe you're not doing that right now. It can help you get some organic traffic. Sending emails if you have an email tool. If you are selling on specific platforms and you have your email list or your list of your customers' email addresses, then you can market to them through email. It doesn't cost you any money if you already have an email tool that you're using. And there's a lot of free email tools that will allow you to send out your first few emails. So you can start collecting those email addresses and using that to market to your customers. And again, make sure that you understand the terms of service for the platform that you sell on, because some platforms don't like you to collect the email addresses. So you have to create a way for your customers to come offline to be able to collect that. Optimizing your listing will always help you get organic traffic. Offering sales can help. Some platforms love sales and promotions. The more sales and promotions you offer on your items, the better the chances that the platform itself, the algorithm, will start sending traffic to your listing. So look at the platform that you're selling on and see if you offer a sale, if they charge a fee to do a sale. Some of them don't, and some of them do. So you need to pay attention to that. These are things that you could be doing now, doing paid ads and doing paid, campaigns, PPC, all of that stuff. You can pay to get your products in front of people, or there's some things again that you could be doing. So video, most people are interested in video, and that's either animating your particular product or actually creating a video that shows the product in use. That video can go on YouTube, which means you can drive traffic from YouTube. It can go on your website. It can also go on the platform in which you sell on. So it can go in different places. And you can use that to help drive traffic to your product. You can create a YouTube short, an Instagram reel, or a TikTok video that showcases your product in some kind of way. And you don't have to show your face. Those are all free ways to drive traffic to your listing. So just put it out into the universe. Traffic doesn't always, and marketing doesn't always cost money. Are there things that you're doing to optimize that, depending on what it is that you're selling? Now, if I'm selling a box of rice, I'm selling a multi-pack of, 5 boxes of rice, doesn't make any sense for me to do a video on that, maybe. Or maybe I do a cooking demonstration, could be, and I get people to go to my listing. Maybe I decide that I'm actually going to sell the cookware to be able to cook the rice, including the spatula, the spoon, whatever, the steamer. And so I'm selling the rice and the steamer at the same time. There's all kinds of things that you could do to get creative. But again, go back and evaluate what you're doing and check to see where things fall in those three columns that we talked about. If you're already doing them, make sure you write down when you're doing them and what time, if there's a specific time in which you do them. If Bible study on Wednesday is always on Wednesday at 6 o'clock, then write it down. That's time that's reserved. It can't be used for anything else. If you find that you have a whole bunch of blanks, that means that you potentially have a whole bunch of opportunity to work your business more than you are right now. So that's real talk. That means you have to be real with yourself. Or do you feel like you're wasting time and you don't even know where you're spending your time? I have no idea what I did yesterday. Somehow I made it through the day. Like, okay, well, what were you productive at anything? I understand that there are times where we just need to lay down and stare at the ceiling or look at the paint dry on the wall. I get that. There are days, especially the mental state of everything, that's like there's a lot of stuff that's happening. And so there are times where we just need to veg out. If that's every day for you, I'm going to encourage you to get some help because you may have more things going on than you realize. But if it is random, like, okay, today is a veg out day, and you only veg out like one day a month or something like that, or 2 days a month, and it is random, then I get that. And those are days where you're like, okay, today was just overwhelming. It's too much. I got to lay down somewhere. Versus when you do it all the time. So if you do it all the time, I'm going to encourage you to get, talk to somebody about that. But if you find that at the end of the day, that there's a lot of opportunity for you to work in your business more than you even paid attention to, now we're working with something. Okay. So let's take advantage of those times in which we have the opportunity to work in our business more than what we are letting on because we're not paying attention to where we're potentially wasting time. So now that we have this information, and we are going to take the information that we did for this brain dump, and we're going to separate the brain dump into, I mentioned before, the days and the times. If you feel like there's some things that you could be doing, maybe based on morning, afternoon, and evening, and you don't really want to assign the activity based on time blocks, then you can use morning, afternoon, and evening. Meaning, this is a list of things that I would like to do Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, afternoon, and evening. I will encourage you, if you're thinking about things regarding your business, I want you to think about your most optimal time of the day. When do you actually feel like you can get more stuff done than you normally do? So if you feel like the mornings are your most optimal time of the day, where you can burn through a checklist of like 10 things very quickly, then do that. If you feel like the evenings are when you can burn through a checklist of things that you normally, it takes you forever to do in the morning, then do that. So an example would be, if I know that my most optimal time of the day for me to actually get a bunch of stuff done from a performance standpoint, from my own personal focus, from my own personal energy and motivation, is the morning. If I feel like, okay, I need to go from creating one listing a day to 10 listings a day, I do it in the morning and I can knock it out in 1 hour. I'm like, yes. But if I say that I'm going to do it in the evening and I put it down for, evening, or I put it down for a specific time, 9 o'clock, and 3 hours later, I'm still working on those 10 listings, then clearly I am not focused enough in the evening. That is not my best time of the day to actually create listings. So I should probably stop trying to create listings in the evening, because it takes me 3 times the amount of time to do the same thing that I can knock out in 1 hour in the morning. So that's what I mean by the most optimal time of the day. When do you feel like you're most productive? When do you feel like you have the best focus? When do you feel like you can burn through stuff and you can make the most progress in your business or in your own personal life? You want to, if possible, push as many of your activities into that window. So those income producing activities, those things that make you money, listing is an income producing activity. Try to, or work to, push it into your most productive time of the day window. Shipments, because once you ship an item out and you track it and monitor it, it guarantees that you'll be able to keep the money, or it helps you to be able to keep the money. So no guarantee. Customers will always have an excuse for returning something or requesting a refund, but it allows you the opportunity to keep the money. So if that happens to be In the morning, let's push some of our shipment activity to the morning if that's your most productive time of the day. There are going to be things that you're going to discover that you probably could outsource, meaning you could outsource it to a fulfillment center, you could hire a VA, you could get your kids to help you to do it. So those are things that maybe you can double yourself if you feel like, okay, when I get off work, I'm really tired, I'm not going to do the shipments. I can hire my son or my daughter to be able to do that work, or the next door neighbor kid down the street that's been asking if they can mow my lawn. I can say, hey, you can do shipments for me in the evening, or whatever it happens to be. Or just send it all to a fulfillment center and let them do the shipments to your customers. Outsource it if you have the capital to be able to do that. So if you're into profit, if you're not profitable right now, I'm not going to suggest that you outsource anything. There's many different things that you can outsource. If you are challenged with creating listings, there's listing tools. You're going to have to pay for that. So if you're not making money right now, get profitable so that you can afford to pay for that. And that way you can scale your business and you're not doing the listings. You're maybe doing 10 or 15% of the work, and the tool is doing, 85% of the heavy lifting or 80% of the heavy lifting. So think about it that way. So write all the things that you're doing, and on tab number 2, this is where we're building out the template. We're going to actually start organizing that schedule. So on tab 2, which is where we're talking about the weekly template, we're going to have Monday, have the columns, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's the columns for tab number 2, your weekly template. You're going to figure out what are the things that you could do in the morning, what are the things you could do in the afternoon, what are the things you could do in the evening, or column A if you want to put times. So column A for your activity can be times, meaning 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, going all the way down in column A. Or column A can just say morning, and then you could put 15 placeholders or 15 rows, and then afternoon and put 15 rows, and then evening and put 15 rows. And then that way you can separate your day out to 45 spaces. Are you going to need all 45 spaces? Maybe not, but it's just there just in case you do. So now that we go through and we separate out either morning, afternoon, and evening, let's start going across. Let's take the things that are on the brain dump tab and let's put them onto the weekly template tab. Where is Bible study? Put it into the right spot. Where is working out in the morning? Put that in the right spot. Where is I list? So right now I list Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I feel like listing Monday, Wednesday, Friday works for me, and I feel like it's serving my business well. I'm going to go ahead and do that and keep it. Or I could say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I'd like to also start listing on Saturday. I'd like to start listing on Sunday. Figure out where you can incorporate listing into your life. So I will tell you, there's something to call an activity or action called momentum. If you're already listing at a set time every single day, so let's say that set time every single day is 9 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock at night. Keeping the same time throughout the schedule, throughout the week, will help you with, one, building the habit of consistency, because when 9 o'clock hits, immediately your brain thinks, oh, I'm supposed to be listing right now. Or building the momentum. You're already creating listings at 9 o'clock all the time. Adding an additional day will just continue that extension, and it's part of an action that you're already doing. So it's like going for a walk. Every time you lift your foot to go and step forward, you're building momentum. So that makes the next foot. So you just literally step, building that momentum of doing something that you're already doing, just continuation of it. So that is something that you can use, and you can look at this schedule as you're building it out. And it's not going to be perfect when you first build it. There's going to be issues with it. You're going to have to fix some potholes. You're going to have to make some adjustments. But you definitely need to make sure that you're paying attention to what you're doing with your life. Because the one thing about building the schedule will actually tell you how much of your life that you're potentially wasting doing nothing. If you're trying to be $1 million seller doing a bunch of nothing and you're not there yet, then doing a bunch of nothing is not necessarily probably the best thing. There's a bunch of millionaires that they invest in and spend a lot of time working and helping in the community in some of their free time, but they also spend time relaxing because, hey, I'm a millionaire, I get to relax. But if you're not there yet, let's do everything that we can to make sure that we're not wasting the time that God has blessed us with. So if that means spending more time with your family, then fill in those places where if family is important, then you probably have a lot more family slots uh, on your spreadsheet. If building your business is important, and remember, building your business may only be for a season. You may decide that I'm going to invest in building my business for the next 3 quarters or for the next 4 quarters. And then I'm going to reap the rewards and I'm going to spend more time with my family. First of all, we're going to ask the Lord to bless you with to receive those 4 quarters, but we're also going to be thankful for it. The other thing is we're going to be intentional about what we do in those 4 quarters in order to scale our business so that we can relax in the 5th quarter. So I want you to think about your business. Okay. Think about what you're doing and look at that schedule and build it out. What are the things? When are you doing sourcing? When are you doing research? When are you doing, or when should you be doing research? When should you be doing sourcing? Because if you have a lot of blanks, you need to start filling it in. I should be doing product research here. I should be doing keyword research here. I should be doing sourcing here. I should be shipping here. I should be whatever. And your goal again is to, as many of the things that you have under the already do, that you keep them where they are if they're serving you well in your life or in your business. Okay. Reconciling your family budget is not a bad activity. And if it's something you feel like you should be doing, then put it on the list. Reconciling your business budget is not a bad activity. If you feel like it's something that you should be doing, it should be on your list. Where are you going to put that? And you have to make sure that you're putting in, because reconciling budgets can feel overwhelming at times. For some people, doing budgets is just overwhelming by itself. So figure out where to put that on your schedule, where it can actually be accomplished. If you know that 9 o'clock at night is not the best time for you to do anything, then don't put that there. You might put something in that spot that is more physical in nature. So maybe boxing up a shipment so that you can put it near the front door or put it in the car in the garage so that the next morning when you get up, you can just go drop it off. That way you're expending energy right before you go to bed, and then that way maybe you'll sleep a little bit better. I don't know. So figure out where you can do things that are perfect for based on how you live your life. So now that we've kind of gone through that, the other thing is we're going to, some of the activities that you write down are going to be many habits that you need to establish or want to establish, many goals. Those are things that are easy to accomplish, and you're really just trying to build the momentum around them. So many habits and many goals, I'll give you an example, is listing. Maybe you're listing one thing a day and you want to get up to 10 items a day. So the first thing is, and maybe you're not even listing one thing a day. Maybe you're listing like one thing like 3 times a week. That's it. So that's your business. And you're like, I want to be $1 million seller. And I'm like, you're not going to get there if you're only listing one product, a couple of times. That's not going to work out for you. So the next thing that you might do is go ahead and start the process of just putting on your schedule that you're going to list every single day. And maybe it's every single day at 9 o'clock. We'll stick with 9 o'clock. And I'm going to list one thing. Well, one is easy, meaning it's accomplishable. I can do that. And I'm not going to be stressed out about it. So it's something that you can easily accomplish. And you're going to go, well, why am I just doing one? At this point, we're just trying to build the habit of consistency around listing. So you do that for 2 weeks. We list one thing a day for 2 weeks. So there you got 14 listings up. Yay. Then at 2 weeks later, the next 2 weeks, you're going to list 3 things a day. We're just inching up that daily activity from 1 to 3. And you're going to do that for 2 weeks. So now we're listing 3 things a day, and we're listing it for 7 days a week or for 14 days. So that is some momentum that we're building there. All right. So now we got 42 listings up in addition to the 15 we had before, or 14 we had before. Now we're going to go from 3 to 5. We're going to do that for 2 weeks. Then we're going to go from 5 to 7, and we're going to do that for 2 weeks. And then we're going to go from 7 to 10. We have stair-stepped our process of getting from 1 listing every single day, 7 days a week, to 10 listings every single day, every single week. And now you've built a habit that is sustainable, because you built the routine of doing it every day at the same time. That's the first thing. And second, you stair stepped it so you wouldn't be stressed out about the fact that you didn't get to 10. There's still going to be days where you don't get to 10 because emergencies happen. Emergencies are real emergencies, not, oh, I had a dentist appointment. That's not an emergency that was scheduled. So it's not an emergency. All right. So going through that process and paying attention to that. Habit stacking is thinking about your routines. What is your routine? The things that you do in sequential order that make sense. Things that you would do in a sequential order or logical order that makes sense. So creating a listing has its own habit stacking in it. It's got its own routine. You've got the getting of the product, whatever the product is, and whatever method you're using, whether it's wholesale, drops, wholesale. This is physical product that you're touching. Sorry. So wholesale or retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, thrifting, probably better. So you've got a product in your possession. There's a couple things you got to do with it. You got to take a picture. Yep. You got to create a title. You got to create the listing. You got to figure out the pricing. You've got to figure out what you're going to sell it for, how you're going to ship it. All these are all things you got to think about in order to put this listing up. And as part of that, if one of the things that you do when you sit down is you don't really actually start listing, you have to, what I refer to as stop and start. True, being able to just list and just not be interrupted means that you've already figured out, you've already done the keyword research. Otherwise, as you sit down in front of your computer, you got to stop and do keyword research. As you sit down in front of your computer, you got to stop and go figure out what the description is going to be. And sometimes you do have to do that anyway. As you sit down in front of your computer, you got to stop and go take a picture of the product. So what if you took care of the things that were what I would consider stop and starts? You took care of doing a little bit of keyword research before you sat down to do the listing. You took the picture of the item, so you already prepped it. You cleaned it up if you're doing thrifting and took the price tags off. You took the picture of it and you cleaned up the background of the pictures. You renamed the images. What if all of that was ready to go? What if your item, like for some people when they say, I'm going to go do listing, but then their items are scattered all over the house? What if your items were right next to your desk in a laundry basket so that way you had them ready to go? They were already tagged. The pictures were already taken. All the keywords were already figured out. And you've already figured out how much you're going to price it for and what method of shipping you're going to do. What if all that was figured out? Like when I source, if I'm doing retail arbitrage or if I'm doing thrifting, when I put something in my basket, I already know how I'm going to ship it. What I mean by that is I know whether or not I'm going to do, if I'm doing flat rate, if I'm going to do the small, medium, or large box, if I'm going to do regional A or regional B. I already know what the prices are for regional A and regional B. So I'm just saying, I already know. I know that regional A and regional B comes in 2 different size boxes. I know that medium comes in 3 different size boxes. I know that large comes in 2 different size boxes. So I already know how I'm going to ship it. So I already know what my shipping cost is going to be before I put the item in my cart to buy it, to be able to list it. I already know potentially what I'm going to sell it for. So these are things I already know. So when I sit down, when I get home, I immediately prep the items. I take the pictures of them. I have them on my drive, and I put a little sticky on top of the item that has everything I need to know or the decisions I previously made when I made the decision to buy the item in the first place. That's what I mean by knowing that information. That makes creating your listings. I literally could pick up the laundry basket and begin the process of listing and list straight, not interrupted, don't have stops and starts. That makes a difference from going from taking you an hour to create one listing versus taking you an hour to create 10 listings. So think about that whole process, that routine. And there may be opportunities to improve your process in the middle, somewhere in that assembly line. If you lay it all out sort of like an assembly line, a flat on a table, write it out of stickies. So, okay, do I need to improve my picture taking or image gathering process? Do I need to improve my keyword research process? Do I need to improve my description process? Do I need to improve my pricing process? Do I need to improve my shipping process? Like, what do I need to improve in this entire routine of creating a listing? So if you think about it like that, that will help you to gradually improve that process and figure out where the breakdown is and fix it. Time blocks. I believe that you should have dedicated time throughout the day to do things. Do things. So dedicated time to create listings, dedicated time to do product research, dedicated time to do shipments, dedicated time to learn something new. So I believe that time blocks work for me. Time blocks don't always work for everybody, but if you're going to do time blocks, I would encourage you to do them in 1 hour blocks versus 30-minute blocks, because unless you have mastered the art or you are very comfortable with time blocks, setting things in 30-minute blocks will overwhelm you and it will make you want to not do them. So when I say visually 30-minute blocks, if we were to start at 6 o'clock in the morning and go all the way to 11 o'clock at night, that is a lot of places. So I don't know, 23 minus 6. I think about that for just like 17. So that's 17 rows on your page. Well, if you did it in 30-minute blocks, that means you go from 17 to 34. That's a lot of lines to fill in if you do it every 30 minutes. I'm not trying to paralyze you. So I do believe that multitasking is not always a good thing. And there are some times where you just need to focus for a period of time on a specific task or activity. So consider doing time blocks if you feel like you or will not be overwhelmed by it, if and that you can commit dedicated time to it. Doing a checklist method or to-do list, if that makes you feel better, you can do that. And even to expand the checklist or to-do, you could have a checklist for morning activities, checklist for afternoon activities, checklist for evening activities, if that is easier for you to look at, because the checklist helps you to feel like you're making progress. It helps you to feel like helps you to gain momentum in your daily activities. So if time blocks are overwhelming, try checklists. And then creating smart goals, goals that are specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, realistic or relevant, timely or time bound. Extremely important, because you need to have a goal that you're working towards. So if we use the goal of $1 million seller, with $1 million seller, we're going to start with, if $1 million is what you're trying to get to by the end of the year, and we're starting today, I'm going to divide that $1 million by the remaining number of quarters in the year. So I'm going to just nix Q2, because you only got a few days. You got like 14, 15 days in Q2. So I'm going to nix it. Maybe I'm laying the foundation in Q2 to be ready for Q3 and Q4. So we divide that $1 million by the remaining number of quarters in a year. Then divide that $1 million by the remaining number of months in a year. So I'm going to do July through December. Divide the $1 million by the remaining number of weeks in the year, and divide it by the remaining number of days in the year, July through December. That's going to give you your daily goal, your daily targets, your weekly targets, your monthly targets, and your quarterly targets to get to $1 million seller status. Now, if that's $1 million in sales, that's going to mean something different as far as profits are concerned. But if it's $1 million in profit, that definitely is a completely different number. And that means you're going to have to do some massive math. I mean, both of them are going to require a lot of work. One is exponentially going to require a lot more capital, a lot more time, and a lot more volume. So you're definitely going to have to hire. Both of them are going to require either a team to get there, but one's going to require more. So think about that and make sure that you're establishing in your weekly plan or your monthly plans smart goals. So as we go through this process, and the one thing I didn't focus as much as I normally do on is education. Again, thinking about the fact that we are at the end of Q2, so Q3 and Q4. What are the things that you can improve in Q3 that will actually impact your Q4? And I want you to think about that right now and write it down. If you feel like getting better at creating listings is the thing that you want to get better at doing, getting better at keyword research, getting better at titles, whatever, what if you spent the entire month of July focused 100% on that? Because you should have a time block of at least a minimum of 1 hour every week on whatever it is you want to get better at. So what if you spent an hour in the month of July getting better at keyword research, and you 100% spent that time, and then once you learned it, and let's say you did it on Sunday, Then you spend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday implementing it. Because there's so many times that people learn things and then they don't use it. Like, oh, that's a great tip. And they don't do anything with it. It just evaporates in the air. And 4 weeks later, you're going, yeah, there was that tip or strategy. I can't remember what it was because you didn't implement it immediately. So the goal is to learn something new and implement it immediately. So if on your schedule that you're building now, you put down education, put education, and I put on mine on Sundays, something that you can implement throughout the week so you can immediately use what you learned. So let's say you want to get better at keyword research. You spend the month of July getting better at keyword research. Then in the month of August, you want to get better at product research. And then in the month of September, you want to get better at sourcing. Are those three things that you want to get better at every single week in those months? Will that help you have a better Q4? Heck yeah. Yes, it will. You'll have a better Q4. You'll have better results because you're better at listing, which means your products can be found organically much better. You're better at sourcing. You're better at doing product research about what are the things that I actually really do want to sell. Now you're a little close to the quarter, but you're still better at it. So even if you're down to the wire on sourcing and also finding those products, you're still going to have a better Q4. Now I'll give you another one. What if you're a person that runs ads or whatever? So one of the things that maybe you want to get better at is like, what if you spent July getting better at Facebook ads, then you spent August getting better at Instagram ads, and you spend September getting better at Google ads. What if you spent August getting better at Facebook PPC, Amazon PPC, and you spent that's July getting better at Amazon PPC, and then August getting better at, I don't know, Pinterest ads. Like, what if you spent that time and then it's something that you can apply during the week? You will have a better Q4. So I just want to encourage you to take education seriously, because I feel like if you just focused 1 hour a week and then you immediately applied what you learned, you will see incremental improvements in your business week over week. I promise you. Just try it. I challenge you to do it. I challenge you right now to do that. Seriously. It works. It really does. All right. So now that we've got this schedule thing, we've built out our mock schedule. We built it in the Google Sheets. We have a schedule that we filled in either our time or we filled in morning, afternoon, and evening. And this is the schedule that we're going to test drive. We're going to test drive the schedule. We have dedicated time for sourcing, dedicated time for product research, dedicated time for listings, dedicated time for shipping or shipping audits, whatever, dedicated time for customer service, dedicated time for marketing, dedicated time for education, all throughout our schedule. And we have all of our family and personal stuff sprinkled in. I'm doing meal prepping. So in our lives, just being real for just a second, in our lives, we do meal prepping today on Saturdays. We do meal prepping because I'm not trying to be in the kitchen all week. Okay. I'm not. So I do meal prepping on Saturdays intentionally, so that Saturday evenings is when we do it. So roughly about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock until about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, I'm meal prepping for the entire week because I'm not trying to be in the kitchen all week. I don't like it. Okay. So that's what I do. So that's the reason why we do grocery shopping on Fridays, so that way, so Sunday I can focus on all the stuff that I have to do, because Sunday I have to do a lot of activities. So think about how you are, the things that you're doing, and do you have some opportunity to improve them, or do you have some opportunity to add some things? Maybe you want to start walking. So make sure you're putting walking on your schedule, and where would you potentially place it on the schedule that you're building for yourself? And the goal is, when you incorporate your personal life and you incorporate your business, you hopefully build a more realistic schedule that's sustainable, something that you really could follow. And initially, you're not going to follow it consistently in the first week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but you will over time, because you get up every morning, you go through it at night, and you review what the schedule is for tomorrow. That's the first thing. And then the next morning, you get up and you review the schedule for the day. And you use that to help you to build the habit of consistency and to help your subconscious mind yield to this new schedule that you're building, because your subconscious mind is going to fight you along the way. There's always going to be something that comes up. But eventually, you'll find that, hey, I'm actually able to get 80% of my schedule done every single day. Don't beat yourself up if the first couple of weeks it's just like a scatter diagram. And so you're only able to get 20%, and then you're able to get 50%. Then you're back down to 30%, and then you're up to 85%. It's like, okay, I don't understand. This schedule's not working out. It's because your subconscious mind there's things that you're not thinking through. One, sometimes you have to reorganize the schedule. Two, and three, your subconscious mind is fighting you along the way. There's always going to be something that it's going to justify as more important than what you're supposed to be doing right now because you're trying to build something new. So it's going to figure out ways in order to help interrupt what you're trying to do. And then you're going to be like, this thing doesn't work. I'm like, yeah, it does. You just have to keep sticking with it. It requires persistence and perseverance. All right, so now that we have this template, we can now build our weekly actual schedule. So the actual schedule is hopefully going to fly faster than the template because the template takes time to think about. You're going to spend some time going through building the template, but the actual schedule is probably going to go really fast because now you've already got the time blocks already blocked in, or at least the windows of what you're supposed to be doing already blocked in. So now we can fill in the what's. I call it the what's. So before we get into that, we need to look at the monthly plan. We are going into the third full week of, or actually, you can consider that the fourth full week of June. Technically, it is the fourth full week. So there was only 3 full weeks in June, and you got 2 partial weeks. But depends on how you look at it. It's either the third full week in June or the fourth full week in June. You can look at it either way because the last week in June has 2 days that are not there. So the third full week in June or the fourth full week in June. What was on your monthly plan? Where are you and your monthly goals? You need to go back to your monthly planner. So the My eCom planner, look at that. Where are we? And do I need to start adding some things to my schedule for this week to help me whittle down or knock down these monthly goals that I've established? Probably. So if your monthly goal was to, this month you had, your goal was to create, 200 listings or 300 listings. Where are you in that journey? If you're tracking it on a daily basis, you know where you are. If you're not tracking it, then you may not know where you are. So you need to figure out where you are in that process. There were some goals that you established as part of the monthly planning session. Go look at those and see where you are in the process. And maybe you need to make adjustments to the week that's coming up in order to incorporate those goals that you need to work on. Number 2, what's the priority for the week? So hypothetically, if you're going on vacation the following week, let's say you're going on vacation the week of the 26th of June. Then there's some things you should probably do this next week that's coming up, the week of the 19th. Like maybe if you're driving, get the tires checked, get the oil changed, top off all the fluids, make sure you have flashlights in the car, check the battery, make sure the battery is good. If you need to, if your car feels a little weird, check the Freon levels depending on where you live. Maybe you need to get the kids to break out the luggage. These are things that you want to do the week before so that you are not like stressed out that morning of that you're supposed to be getting on the road, or 2 days before you're supposed to be getting on the road. So that may be the priority. It may have nothing to do with your business. Or the priority could be, because you're going on vacation, you need to double the number of listings that you're creating. That could be what you need to do because you're going on vacation. So instead of creating 10 listings a day, maybe you need to create 20 listings a day because you're going to be going on vacation and you need to be able to make money while you're on vacation. Okay. So that may mean sending in an extra shipment or 2 extra shipments into Amazon this week. That may mean sending in or to your fulfillment center. That may mean, working an extra hour in your business. These are things that you can do strategically so that you can maintain the momentum that you have in your business. Okay. So figure out what the priority is for next week. And then the next thing is, what are the habits that we're tracking? So the habits that you're tracking should be a continuation of what you already established for week 1 and week 2 of June. There shouldn't be a change to those because you don't track a new habit that you're building in 1 week. You don't build a new habit in 1 week. Okay. You don't. You build a new habit doing the same thing over and over again for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. So anybody that tells you that you can build a new habit just by doing it for 7 days and you're done that's not a new habit. That's just some stuff you did. It's not a habit because the next week you're going to go back and doing the things you used to do over and you haven't built any habit or routine around it. So you have to do it consistently and check it off the list for 30, 60, or 90 days so you can build the habit of consistency. So, what are the habits that we're continuing to track for the month of June? And then, this is where we're getting into the what's. What am I sourcing? What am I sourcing? If we go back to what I said before, anywhere from 2 to 36 weeks or 2 to 20 weeks, what am I sourcing right now that I'm going to be listing in a few weeks? What am I sourcing? What am I doing product research on right now? Am I doing product research on things that are going to be selling for Halloween or for Labor Day or for movies that are coming out this summer? Am I sourcing for Q4? What am I sourcing? What am I doing product research on? So maybe I'm sourcing for Halloween because I know it's going to take a few weeks to get across the ocean and to get here in time for me to be able to make sure the listings are up and be able to send it to my fulfillment center. That might be something I'm sourcing right now. Or maybe I'm sourcing some stuff for Labor Day right now. Okay. It's not a surprise. I'm being intentional. And what are the things that I'm researching? What do I need to do product research on or listing research on right now? So I'm putting the details of what I'm doing into the actual schedule. I am doing product research on things to sell for Halloween. I'm doing product research on things to sell for Labor Day. I'm doing product research on the toys that are going to be popular for Christmas. Okay. That's what I'm doing product research on. What am I listing? So this week I'm going to be intentional about what I'm listing. So if I'm going on vacation the week of the 29th, I am going to be listing for the next 2 weeks. So what am I listing for the next 2 weeks that's going to sell 2 weeks beyond that, or 4 weeks beyond that, 6 weeks beyond that, 8 weeks beyond that? So maybe I'm creating my listings this next week that's coming up. I'm creating my back to school listings. Because I know that back to school is going to start selling in July. I already know that. So I can create my listings right now so that they're already active this week. And I'm going to be intentional. And that may be the priority, is to get back to school listings up every single day, put up 60 back to school listings. Back to school doesn't always mean school supplies. It could be shoes, socks, underwear, backpacks, notebooks, accessories to electronics. Okay. What am I going to be shipping? What am I shipping to my fulfillment centers or my prep center or whatever? What am I shipping to my customers? Or what are the shipping related activities? Maybe this next week is when I engage a fulfillment center. Maybe that's what I am doing. And you put it on your schedule under the shipping section, because you put a shipping time spot down. Now, in that shipping time spot, I am actually going to be finding a prep center. You can put that under administrative if you want to, but it's, either one, you can decide. Then we already talked about sourcing. So, am I ordering inventory from XYZ? Like if you already got a list of suppliers, I can go back and look at my list from last year. Who did I order stuff from? So I can go ahead and place my orders on what I'm going to need in the next 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 weeks. What am I going to need? So can I engage those suppliers? Again, in my sourcing spot on my schedule, I'm going to put that information, go through the catalog for blah, 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 wholesale.com, whatever it is. Learning. What am I learning? I'm being intentional. What am I learning next week? What is it that I'm going to spend 1 hour, not 5 hours, not 7 hours? What am I spending 1 hour doing? Then administrative activities. What am I doing from an administrative activities standpoint? What are the things I need to do in my business and in my personal life? Are there some things I need to knock out? Okay, next week. So maybe I have doctor's appointments I need to knock out. Maybe there's a follow-up with the doctor's appointment before I go on vacation that I need to do. Whatever that happens to be, that's what I'm doing next week. So now that I have my actual schedule, I have something I can work with. So inside the little template that I gave you guys, it's if you downloaded the template from the e-commerce planning Facebook group, are some mock schedules, some mock template schedules. And you go back and you fill in the what. You fill in what am I actually doing here? I'm taking intentional action. So you'll see a time block for research, and you'll see a time block for sourcing. You see a time block for listing. You see a time block for shipping. Now you can put in the what am I shipping? Okay. So if I'm sourcing from Walmart on Sunday or Friday or whatever, then I am shipping to my fulfillment center on Saturday my inventory from Walmart. See what I did there? So if I am sourcing from Target on Friday, then I am shipping my Target uh, retail arbitrage to my fulfillment center. That's what I'm doing. So there's an intentional action that's being taken here. Okay. So you can use this template schedule to help you to figure out your daily activities, build your own version of the schedule. And then the last thing is that you can also review the goals. There's many different goals that you could establish, and this is not all of them, but go through the goals list and see what makes sense that you can incorporate into your life. Don't overwhelm yourself. Know your limits and your boundaries and create something that works for you, that feels semi comfortable, but you do want to stretch yourself just a little bit. Every single week, you should be trying to stretch yourself just a little bit, not stress out, but stretch yourself so that that way you're growing and you're building and you're working on building consistency. We're not trying to overwhelm you. There's enough stuff in the world to overwhelm you already. So I hope this information is helpful. I hope you use it. Go download the weekly ecom planning checklist. My name is Nicole. This is the eCom weekly planning session. My passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, helping them to get focused, get organized, get consistent in their business. If that is you and you need some help on this journey, I am happy to sit down with you and we can go over helping you to build a schedule that's going to help you achieve your goals. So you can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecomsellers.com, clicking on freebies and scheduling your free 20-minute coaching session. You can also grab the My Ecom Planner. It was created for sellers by sellers, giving you the opportunity to get more organized, get more focused, get more consistent in your business. So you can go to myecomplanner.com, myecom, E-C-O-M, planner.com, and grab your digital version at 40% off of the regular version. And then I invite you to join eCom Sellers Academy. It is $17.99 a month. It's extremely affordable. We have live weekly training, live weekly Q&A. You gain access to 10 retail and online arbitrage leads lists every single week. You gain access to our wholesale list. In addition to that, you also gain access to our membership site of over 200 training videos. So you can go to ecomsellersacademy.com to sign up right now and join us. You can also grab the retail arbitrage and online arbitrage leads list by going to ecomsellersacademy.com/RAOA leads. Again, RAOA leads, LEADS. You can get 200 leads, product leads that you can go source and sell right now for $50 a month. That roughly comes out to 50 leads a week at $12.50. That's extremely affordable. So consider doing that. You can go sign up for that right now. And we are still in the middle of our print on demand challenge. If this is something that you are ready to add print on demand to your game plan for 2022 for Q4, this is the best time to jump into the print on demand challenge. We're continuing the challenge through the rest of June and the month of July. And so that will give you the opportunity to learn how to do print on demand and fold it into your existing business model. And you'll have a sustainable business that you continue to run during Q4. So I would encourage you to join us on the print on demand journey. It's a fun journey so far. And jump in. The water's fine. You can go to ecomsellersmastery.com and click on Print on Demand Challenge. Again, go to ecomsellersmastery.com and click on Print on Demand Challenge and join us on the journey to building a print on demand business that you can use as part of your income for Q4. All right. With that, I hope that you have an amazingly blessed, extremely focused, highly profitable, and successful day. And we're going to say goodbye for now. Share this out with a friend. Let somebody else know about it, guys. Bye for now.